Hello students, how are you all? I hope you are doing well. Today we are going to discuss chapter 14 electric current and its effect. Let's warm up. You have learned many safety rules in your earlier classes. Write any 5 safety rules to be followed while using electrical appliances. So students, what you have to do, you have to write here 5 safety rules. Get it students? I hope you know that and you can write here. Let's know about electric circuit. Electric circuits, circuit diagram, electromagnets, uses of electromagnets, working of electric bell. So student, these are the topics we are going to discuss in our chapter. Most of the electrical equipments at our homes run on electric current. The lighting of an electric bulb is the most common example of effect of electric current. The simplest source of an electric current is an electric cell. The current starts from the positive terminal of the cell, passes through the equipment connected to it and terminates at the negative terminal of the cell. So student, आप सबको पता है इलेक्ट्रिक करंट के बारे में. मोस्ट कॉमन एग्जांपल हम इलेक्ट्रिक बल्ब का दे सकते हैं. और अगर हम सोर्स की बात करें तो इलेक्ट्रिक सेल सबसे बेसिक सोर्स है किसका? आपकी इलेक्ट्रिक करंट का. और इलेक्ट्रिक करंट हमेशा पॉजिटिव टर्मिनल से स्टार्ट होकर नेगेटिव टर्मिनल पर टर्मिनेट हो जाता है. नाउ वी हैव इलेक्ट्रिक सर्किट्स. A cell or battery is a source of electric current. Electric current can flow between the two terminals of the cell through conducting materials when all are well conducted. Any closed path along which electric current or current carrying charge carriers can flow is called an electric circuit. An electric circuit generally consists of the following components: a source of electric current, cell or battery, a conducting wire, say copper wire, and electric appliances like bulb, a switch, key. An electric circuit provides a complete path for electric current to flow continuously. To flow continuously between the terminals positive and negative of a source energy, electric cell or battery through some electrical devices lying in the same path. Usually, a gap is provided in path by an electric switch that can be opened or closed to either cut off or allow the current flow. The given figure represents a simple electric circuit of a flashlight using a dry cell as a source of energy, a switch and a light bulb. When the switch is closed, the circuit is complete and the electric current starts flowing through the light bulb and it glows. In this process, actually the electrical energy stored in the dry cell is transformed into the light energy. Students, look here. It is a simple electrical circuit. So student, electric circuit में mainly क्या होता है? एक wire होती है, cell होता है, that means source of electricity होता है, एक appliances होता है like bulb और copper wires. We will discuss all of these in detail. Here we have battery. Battery is a device which generates current by a chemical reaction. You must be using batteries in toys, torches and remote controls. A cell usually contains a metal container filled with the chemicals and a carbon rod. It has a positive and a negative terminal. When both these terminals are joined to a device through wires, the cell generates current to make the device work. Sometimes one cell is not enough to run a device like a remote or a toy. In this case, 2 or more cells can be joined together to form a series of cells. In series, the positive terminal of one cell is joined to the negative terminal of the next cell. This series of cells is called a battery. So students, जब हम एक से ज़्यादा cells को क्या करते हैं series में रखते हैं, that is a battery. और cell जो है chemical energy जो है light energy में change करता है और 2 terminals होते हैं negative and positive. Now we have switch. A switch is used to open and close a circuit. Switch is also called a key. When the switch off, the 2 ends of the circuit are open and the current does not flow through it. We use electric switches to run all devices at home. तो switch जो है आपकी electric circuit को on and off करने के काम आता है. Now we have appliances. A circuit is always connected to an appliance that works with current. For example, the filament of a bulb gets heated up by current and glows. A fan's blades rotate when current passes through it. Then we have conducting wires. Conducting wires are used to connect different components of a circuit. These are generally copper wires with an insulated covering. Copper is very good conductor of current and hence is used for this purpose. Now we have circuit diagram. A circuit diagram is a figure which represents all components of a circuit and the connections between them. In a circuit diagram, different components are shown by symbols which are easy to draw. Some of these are as follows. Look here students. We have components and their symbol. Now students, we have an activity, activity 1. Do this activity under your teacher's supervision. Take a piece of nichrome wire and put it on a table. Connect it to a battery and switch with wires. Keep the switch open. Touch the wire. Now close the switch and let current pass through wire for 30 seconds, open the switch and again touch the wire. What do you feel? You will observe that the wire is hot. Note down your observation in your notebook. So student, you have to perform this activity with the help of your teacher. You know that all the solids are made up of particles. These particles, called atoms, vibrate at their position. When current flows through a solid, the vibration of atoms resists its passes. This produces heat. Metals like copper, silver and aluminium do not resist the conductors. These metals do not heat up much on passing current. However, metals and alloys like tungsten and nichrome offer high resistance. They heat up quickly. Many devices such as geysers, kettles, hair dryer, electric iron, oven, etc. work on this principle. And passes through it, a lot of heat is generated. The filament starts glowing and produces a lot of heat. The heat generated by a device depends upon the thickness and length of the filament used in it. A very important use of heating effect is an electric fuse. An electric fuse is a safety device connected in every domestic and commercial circuit. It contains a wire made up of an alloy which has low point. If due to some reason there is sudden overflow of current in the circuit, the fuse wire heats up and melts, breaking the circuit. This connected to the circuit and prevents a fire due to short circuit. So स्टूडेंट्स, हम बात करें तो हम सबके घरों में जो है यूज किया जाता है फ्यूज वायर. क्या होता है? फ्यूज का वायर जो है निक्रोम या किसी ऐसी चीज से बना होता है. जैसे ही करंट का ओवरफ्लो होता है वो क्या हो जाता है? मेल्ट हो जाता है और ब्रेक हो जाता है, जिससे हमारा सर्किट ब्रेक हो जाता है और शॉर्ट सर्किट भी होने से प्रिवेंट करता है समटाइम. लुक हियर, दीज आर फ्यूज, दीज आर इलेक्ट्रिक फ्यूज. सो स्टूडेंट्स, अभी आपने पढ़ा कि जैसे मेटल्स जो है वो हीट अप हो जाते हैं, लेकिन एल्यूमिनियम, कॉपर जो है वो गुड कंडक्टर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी है, वो इतनी जल्दी हीट नहीं absorb करते हैं. नाउ these days households and commercial circuits are connected miniature circuit breaker MCB. It has series of switches to different circuit in the house. MCB allows only certain of current pass through the circuit. If the current exceeds this limit, the supply is cut off. Now we have magnetic effect of current. In 1820, a Danish physicist Hans Christian Ørsted was performing some experiments with electricity. He observed that when current passed through a wire, the needle of the magnetic compass that was kept close by showed a deflection. Hence, when electric current passes through a wire, it behaves like a magnet. This comes to be known as the magnetic effect of the electric current. You can demonstrate this effect by performing the given activity. So, student, आपके एक physicist थे, उन्होंने ऑब्जर्व किया कि जब हम किसी वायर से करंट पास कराते हैं और उसके आसपास अगर हम मैग्नेटिक कंपास को रखते हैं तो जो मैग्नेटिक निडल है वो क्या शो करती है? डिफ्लेक्शन शो करती है. तो ये प्रूव करता है कि जो इलेक्ट्रिक करंट है जब वो किसी कंडक्टर से पास हो रहा होता है तो वो एक मैग्नेट की तरह बिहेव करता है. एंड दैट इज द मैग्नेटिक इफेक्ट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिक करंट. नाउ वी हैव एन एक्टिविटी 2. Aim to show the magnetic effect of current. Connecting wires, a magnetic compass, a shell and a switch. Method. Make a circuit as shown using the connecting wires, the switch and the cell. Place the magnetic compass near the wire. Put the switch in the on position to let the current flow through the circuit. Observe the needle of the magnetic compass. Now stop the current by putting the switch in the off position. Repeat this 3 or 4 times. Now observation. Every time current passes through the wire, the needle of the magnetic compass shows deflection. So student, you can perform this activity with the help of your teacher in your laboratory. Here we have conclusion. Current flowing through a wire has a magnetic effect associated with it. Now look at this. That's how you have to make a setup. Now we have electromagnets. From the activity given above, you must have learned that electric current has a magnetic effect associated with it. This property of electric current is used to change magnetic materials like soft iron into magnets by passing electricity through them. So student, हम electricity pass करा के soft iron को magnets में change कर सकते हैं, जिनको हम electromagnets बोलते हैं. In the activity given below, we will learn how to make an electric. You will observe in the activity given above that every time the switch is on position and the current is flowing, the paper pins get attracted to the nail. When the switch is in the off position, the pins fall off. This shows that the electromagnet works only when the current is flowing through it. The strength of electromagnets depend on the number of turns of the wire used around the core and the amount of current passing through it. So student, strength कैसे होती है कि जितना उससे current pass कराया गया, that is the strength of that electromagnet. To make an electromagnet, note activity to be performed under adult supervision. Things required: a long insulated wire, a big nail, a few paper pins, a switch, a battery and a plastic tube. Method: Take a wire and wind it around a nail as shown. Connected the open ends of the wire to the battery through a switch to complete the circuit. Now put the switch in on position, hold the nail with a plastic clip carefully and move it near the paper pins. You will see that the paper pins clinching on the iron nail. Put the switch in off position, the paper pins will fall off. Repeat the activity 3 to 4 times, the electromagnet is ready. So student, that's how you can prepare an electromagnet. Now we have uses of electromagnets. Some of the important uses of electromagnets are given below. Electromagnets are used in motors that drive fans, mixers, washing machines, etc. Then we have second, cranes with strong electromagnets are used to lift heavy loads like big machines, steel girders, and sharp iron objects for loading and unloading purpose. Third, electromagnets are used to separate magnetic materials like iron and steel objects from a heap of junk metal scrap. Then fourth, electromagnets are used by doctors to remove tiny iron particles from the eyes of a person which may have fallen into the eyes accidentally. Then we have electromagnets are also be used in electric bells, telegraphs, telephone, instruments, loudspeaker, etc. So student, these are the use of electromagnets. Now we have working of electric bell. An electric bell contains a circuit with a switch, battery and electromagnet. A soft iron armature connected to a spring, a gong and a hammer. It works in the following ways. Look here students. When the current flows through the circuit, the electromagnet creates a magnetic field which attracts the soft iron armature. As the armature moves towards the electromagnet, the hammer hits the gong and the sound is produced. The circuit breaks. The current stops flowing and the magnetic field of the electromagnet is lost. So the armature moves back and connects to the circuit again. The cycle continues and causes repeated hitting of the hammer on the gong, producing continuous sound. So student, इस तरह electric bell जो है work करती है. Now we have check and mate, as we already read about these things, so you can do it by yourself. Now students, what we learn in this step, now we are going to discuss it in a nutshell. An electric current can pass through a conductor of electricity or a continuous path called circuit. An appliance is run by electric current by keeping it in the way of circuit. Filaments of the bulb are made of tungsten because this material heats up quickly and glows when the electric current passes through it. Electric current is measured in ampere. An electric fuse is a safety device which low melting point. If electric circuit is disturbed, it melts and flow of current is stopped. Now students, we have some keywords. Current, a flow of electricity or charged particles. Circuit, a path of flowing electricity. Battery, a device to generate current or electricity by chemical reaction. Switch, a device to open or close a circuit. Electromagnet, a metal piece made a magnet by passing electric current through a coil around it. Thank you students. We will meet again in the next chapter. Till then, revise what we learned today.